What is going on, everyone out there in our MNC Hoops world? We are excited, happy to be back for another episode. Busy week all around. Of course, NBA trade deadline is over. We've seen so much of the chaos that went on with that. Trades here, trades there, maybe not trading here, and all kinds of different stories. Plus, people already out. But we'll get into that in just a second. But CJ, before we get started with the show, how are you doing today, sir?
It was good, brother. Doing well. Watching the Knicks game right now. Knicks Pacers. It's a great battle between the third seed and the fourth seed. So these things are going to matter when it comes to home field advantage in the first round. So, but my week's been good. Just staying grateful.
Good. Sounds great. Today, I actually got to work from home. Had a business meeting. Basically, we were supposed to do all of our managers together up in Lexington, but the snow and the storms, so they postponed it or canceled it, and we just did it by computer. So it's nice to relax one day while working, while just standing or sitting in front of a computer. But definitely got to catch up with some sports that went on. Of course, Kentucky played Tennessee just now. Obviously, you see my Cats chat. A great game with there. Kentucky beats Tennessee with the brooms. We swept them this year, so that was amazing for us. So ready to talk some NBA because a lot of stuff went on, and I'm ready to chop it up with you, CJ, as I don't know how to speak. So let's go ahead and jump into our first topic. Let's see here. Coming straight out with Luka.
Absolutely.
Of course, Luka made his debut with the Lakers today in a 132-113 of Utah. Of course, we heard the LeBron say 23 plus 77 is 100. So it's quite comical how they are linking up already with some of their, relationship. And, of course, it's key of what's going on with the Lakers so far. So what'd you think of the debut and, of course, the trade as well?
It was just definitely anticipation, ready for just to see what it looks like on the court. LeBron was playing well. When Luka was out, Austin Reeves was also playing well. When Luka was out, I think they both made statements in Luka's absence. One, not only to Doncic, but also to Rob Pelinka, especially for Reeves. People are still talking about Reeves and trade talks and things of that nature, but I think he's here to stay. I think he's here to stay. He's obviously not afraid of the big moment. He'll knock down big shots with AD and LeBron on the court with him. We broke down those games and reviewed those games in the playoffs against the Grizzlies in the first round. That's where he really made his name. And just the 6 in a row, they were already playing well before they acquired Luka. And now it's just, you're adding gold to gold. You're just adding more gold in terms of a basketball perspective. Of course, he was going to be a little rusty, missed some shots that he usually makes, some fallaways, some leaners that usually go in kind of easily. Once he gets his legs underneath him and starts to really get it going, a few more games, he's going to go back to what he was averaging. I think he had like 14, 5, and 4, about like 23 minutes. So the defense looked good. He was moving his feet, definitely staying in front of guys, contesting. And listen, Laker fans, this is Mad fans they're passionate, but this is different. This is a different fan base you're coming to. They've seen it all. They've seen legends already walk through the court, come through the court, and win championships. So they're not a fan base where they're starving for a championship. They know what it takes. They've seen legends win championships. So if you come to the Lakers and you don't fulfill on that, you're looked at differently because this is one of the most successful franchises ever. In anything, any type of business, however you want to break it down. So you have to be successful. And, we'll get into more of what happened with the trade too, a little bit more details as things start to come out and people start to speak their mind on what occurred. But from what I've seen, it looked good. Now, watching the game, I was saying, they really need a center. I was like, they really need a center, and of course they signed Alex Len, and we'll talk about that a little bit later and more in depth. But they needed more. They needed another center. Jackson Hayes is solid, but he can't play 30 minutes. He could play 30 minutes if he locked in a little bit more, but right now he can't play 30 minutes. So I'm not saying he never can but right now it's a little bit different. And he just has to improve. And I think he will improve. He'll get better. He had 4 points, two lobs from Luka to LeBron. I mean, he's gonna get maybe like 5 of those a night. If you run the floor 3 times, 4 times, that's 18 points. Offensive rebounds, clean up the glass, you should get 20 points. If you run the floor, get offensive rebounds, put the ball back up, and you're getting free lobs from Luka and LeBron, he should be averaging 20 points easily. Like, no excuses, man. This is what I'm saying. Like, he can play 30 plus minutes. He has the athleticism for it. He was drafted in the lottery for a reason. 10th pick. The potential is there, but they still feel like they need another big. So the Lakers, they look good. They're playing well. The defenses look great. Since Vanderbilt's came back, Vanderbilt's one of the best versatile defenders. They have 2 excellent versatile defenders in Finney Smith and Vanderbilt. So you add that Rui Hachimura. It's definitely Reeves is locked in, Luka's locked in, and LeBron. If they're locked in as well on defense, it's going to be tough to stop them because you can't stop them on offense. If guys are knocking down shots, you can't stop them on offense. And it's perfect because what do they create? They create wide open threes. And who's their head coach? One of the greatest 3-point shooters. It's crazy how I formulated.
Yeah, I still feel like this trade was actually, it's a shock for us that Luka was the one that was traded. I mean, he's the superstar of the future. He's only 26. But at the same time, I think that Dallas got a great player, and of course, in Anthony Davis. We've talked many times, 5 to 10, top player when he's healthy. And it actually kind of solidifies what the Mavericks are going to be doing. Now it's Kyrie with the ball, AD setting the pick, rolling, whatever, and even AD can isolation, whatever. So it kind of made sense really both ways with this trade. But the star power that the Lakers have now on offense, like you're alluding to as well, it's phenomenal to see this actually play out for us now. But I also want to ask you this. How do you think Connect is feeling? Well, that might be getting too far ahead, ain't it?
Yes, just a little bit. But yeah. Okay. But now, did you see a little bit of this game, though? Like highlights?
I did not. I was glued to the Kentucky-Tennessee.
No, from yesterday.
This was yesterday. Yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't catch it yesterday.
No, you're good, brother. Okay, yeah. No, this is first of many. So,
well, did Connect play in this one? Because I seen one where he wasn't playing. I thought this was it.
No, he did not play. He did not play in the game. Mark Williams didn't play either yesterday for Charlotte. Yeah, like I said, Luka. It's just a matter of time. And you think about, okay, they just became a team in February. They have about 30 games or so to develop true chemistry going into the playoffs. Luka was just in the finals last year. And now his teammate is LeBron, who's better than Kyrie, and he teamed up with Kyrie to win a championship in Cleveland. So when I see people on TV, they're like, Lakers are a year away. I'm like, how? They have versatile forwards next to LeBron and Luka. Mm-hmm. Like I said, Vanderbilt, Rui, Finney Smith. They got guys, man. Gabe Vincent is stepping it up now. He's starting to pick it up at the backup point guard spot. Reeves has been just continues to get better every single year. I think he'll be a multi-time All-Star. I believe so. Okay. I believe so. The way he's working, the way he continues to improve, works on his game. Now he's getting the 3rd best defender on an opposing team as opposed to the 2nd. And
exactly, yeah.
He put up 45, 7, and 7 on the Pacers. They're 4th in the Eastern Conference. It's not a trash team. Siakam was out there. Halliburton was out there. All those guys were out there. Miles Turner wasn't out there, but your 2 All-Stars were out there. You're supposed to win that game. So, yeah, he put up 45, 7, and 7 without Luka and LeBron, and they got the dub. So he's special. Like, that's just what it is.
It's definitely going to be fun to watch this duo now for the rest of the year, see how they play together. I think it'll be great. Both of them are a pass. I won't say pass first, but a good passer, we'll just say that. And I think the unselfishness between them will actually really help that team out a lot. So I do kind of see the 1 year away because they didn't have that 5, but of course they went and got Alex Len, like we just mentioned. I don't know how well he's going to play. He was going to be signing with the Pacers. Rumor was, of course, is that he was going to be signing with the Pacers until that didn't happen. So I think it's going to be a big pickup for him, honestly, if he gets in there and he's well in shape and everything ready to go. I mean, all you got to do is block shots and run the floor, and you're good. Like, I mean, they're going to create so much that you really don't have to do anything on the offense except for have your hands up, don't get hit in the face with the ball, and just dunk it.
Yeah, you have to have good hands. You have to be able to box out. You have to have great hands. You can't have stone hands at the 5 spot. It's impossible, especially if you can't create your own shot. You need to have great hands. You need to have receiver-type hands at 6'11 plus. You have to be able to box out, easily box out.
And Lynn, he can actually shoot a little bit from the 3 too, can he? For a center, I mean, respectively.
Yeah, I've seen him out there, but I need rough, rugged, hard nose in the paint, doing the dirty work. That's what they need at the 5. They don't need a finesse.
No.
Floor spacing center. He needs to crash the glass, be athletic. He's a former lottery pick. I remember when he got drafted. I remember watching that draft when he got drafted.
They needed Tristan Thompson from Cleveland in those days. Just rebound and go. You know, that's it.
Exactly. Him and Jackson Hayes together, 24 minutes apiece. That's 48. If you could get quality 24 minutes from each of them, like I said, they're not starters, but if you give them 24 minutes, what can they do? And if you split that between those 2 players, to me, I feel like Jackson Hayes should ultimately, again, with his upside and where it could go, he should definitely be getting more minutes. He's already been there. He knows the system. Like, it shouldn't even be. He should just be a security option. Jackson Hayes can shoot. Be like, okay, yeah, they pull it. Okay, they got Lynn, cool. But I'm starting for the rest of the season. It has to be a mindset. You have to be a dog.
And of course, you know, we've talked many times in the past about Rob Pelinka possibly being fired or being whatever you want to say, all the responsibility on him because they didn't do anything in the offseason. They didn't really make much of a trade last year. And really, he put this team together. I think what he showed here definitely shows that he's here to win. And also, if we want to go ahead and switch into our next topic that we have here, he was also doing more moves than what we thought. It didn't go through. Of course, the Lakers and Hornets made a trade, but it got resigned, if I say that correctly. And then that's when Alex Len signed with the Lakers. And of course, I'm sure there we go. I could not say it. Thank you.
Good, brother.
I was struggling. But, of course, CJ's going to be pulling up a graphic here for the details on that, I'm sure.
Can you tell us about what's going on between the Hornets? That trade, it fizzled out a little bit. There's been new developments in the Williams trade that was rescinded. Shams, what more can you tell us about what's going on between the Hornets and the league?
Malika, the Hornets are in contact with the league office to explore disputing the Lakers failing Mark Williams' physical exam. Essentially, the Hornets are questioning the validity of the failed physical exam conducted by the Lakers and weighing potential options to appeal. As we reported over the weekend, the Lakers failed Williams on his physical exam after acquiring him in a trade for Dalton Connect, a first-round pick and a pick swap. And they found multiple issues, from my understanding, in the physical exam, not related to his back. So where we stand here are the Hornets and Lakers clearly on opposite ends of where this is all at. The Hornets believe that Williams is healthy, that he has a long career ahead of them, but clearly the Lakers felt like they found something in there that gave them pause, failing the physical and rescinding and nixing the trade.
Okay, so then on the Lakers side of all of this, I think the question is, now that the deadline is passed, what other options do they have at center here, Shams?
I'm told the Lakers are pursuing multiple big men in the marketplace right now. They know.
Okay, and obviously we know that they ultimately picked up Alex Len. So what's your thoughts on that pickup, brother? We kind of talked about it already a little bit. You're muted.
Yeah, going more in depth with it, I think it's a phenomenal pickup for them, for Alex as well. Just for the type of player that he is, the hard nose, the big guy. You said 6'11", has got good size on him. Sometimes I feel he's a little slow. Hopefully, he can get his feet moving a little bit and get that footwork. But with LeBron causing so much distraction, double teams, whatnot, if he's just pick and rolling constantly and just in that dunker's corner or dunker spot, ready to go, Luka's obviously going to be creating a lot with him as well. If I'm him, I'm setting a pick and I'm running to the goal every play. I don't care who has the ball. That's just what I'm going to do. Oh, you got it? I'm setting a pick for you. Hey, they double team. They slipped it. I'm here. Let me dunk. And basically get the rebounds, kick it out. I mean, it's perfect, honestly, for him to be with this team, to be that 5 guy that they needed.
Yeah. Listen, like I said, this is a big opportunity for him. It's going to be more eyes than ever. Be watching him and seeing how he plays. First off, you're a center for the Los Angeles Lakers. You should take that pretty seriously. Look at the centers that have put on that jersey. I mean, you need to lock in. I mean, you have LeBron and Luka Doncic as your teammate. This has to be one of your best seasons. Why? Because it's not just the Lakers watching you; it's the other 29 teams. It's not like you signed a multi-year deal. You're coming out as a free agent, getting picked up. So if you want to get a multi-year deal, multi-year contract, what better way is to have good film with 2 of the best players in the world? So big opportunity for him. He was very smart to stay patient, not sign on the dotted too soon to go to the Pacers. He would have been sick. He would have been tight. I mean, not really. I mean, the Pacers are good, but he would have been tight. He would have been sick. So shout out to his agent too. I'm sure his agent probably told him just hold off just a little bit. Probably got word from somebody in the Laker area. Listen, this is done. This is clipped. And here we go. So I wish him the best. Defense needs to be the first thing. Defense and rebounding. Everything else will take care of itself. If your mindset is defense and rebounding, it doesn't really matter after that because you already have 2 players that can do everything else. That's all you have to focus on. That's all you have to focus on. Being vocal, communicating, telling your guys where to go. They need to talk too. Being on the screen action is the whole entire NBA now. So you need to have that. You need to have that communication with who's ever up on the screen. It's imperative. So we'll see. We will see what he does. See what he does. Now, listen, he has to go up against Jokic. Jokic had 48 and 7 yesterday.
My goodness.
So he has the height and the size, which is good. But he needs to keep his hands up, stay vertical, don't get in foul trouble. Just stay patient. Keep your hands up. You can't fold right now. This is not the time to fold. He's been on a couple teams here and there. You'd be smart to make this your last stop.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you on that, even for the longevity of his career. I mean, I didn't even think of it that part, but yeah, I mean, all eyes are going to be on the Lakers because of Luka and LeBron, and then you're going to be there just to hopefully reap all the benefits for being on that team. So let's go ahead and jump over to the Mavs and the owner, how he reacted on the Luka trade here. Of course, we've talked a little bit about this already, I think, on last week's episode of how it just went down and some of the aspects of that with even Jason Kidd not knowing. But we'll just read what we got here. Let's see here from Legion Hoops. If you look at the greats in the league, the people you and I grew up with, Jordan, Bird, Kobe, Shaq, they worked really hard every day with a
singular focus to win. I got you, bro.
Appreciate it. I can't hardly see that. I'm going to have to blow this up.
You good?
Go ahead and finish it out.
And if you don't have that, it doesn't work. You shouldn't be a part of the Dallas Mavericks. So this is a quote from the Mavs owner. So it's pretty clear that this is what this was ownership. It wasn't Rico Harrison, So The fans, they want to go at Nico Harrison, but obviously this started from the top. He has a boss. So
Wow, that's tough.
what's your thoughts on this quote, brother?
I mean,
this is a quote from an extended one-on-one interview that Brad Townsend had. I got to put everything in context. I have to put everything in context. From the Dallas Morning News. So he had a conversation with this reporter.
So this is legit. I mean, if I'm any other NBA player, this makes me hesitant to go to the Mavericks if that was an opportunity. I mean, how do they really feel? And if they don't like you, I mean, you're kind of gone. But if they know you're there to win, then, I mean, I kind of like the stance on that. So, I mean, it's, double-edged sword here. Like, okay, you basically just threw your superstar under the bus of saying that he wasn't there to win, but at the same time, you're setting the tone for what your team is expecting to do. So, I mean, it's tough to hear from the owners to say that about a player that you got rid of, basically, because that's the way I look at it now is they didn't like the way he was performing. We've heard so much of the drinking and all this stuff and keeping his health and everything. So it sounds legit that this was a problem for them. So I don't want to look too much into it, but my first reaction is, wow, they threw Luka completely under the bus and like just abandoned him basically. But at the same time, if Luka really wasn't that way, which it's hard to say. I mean, a superstar, the way he plays, and you go to the NBA Finals just last season, like you're not there to win. But I mean, I guess you're setting a precedence for your team of what you expect now.
If you look at the greats in the league, the people you and I grew up with, Jordan, Bird, Kobe, Shaq, they worked really hard every day with a singular focus to win. So, based on since Luka's been in the league, he's put up records that have been in the same conversations with Jordan, Bird, Kobe, and Shaq. So, what is that? That doesn't make any sense. So he just became the owner, I think, majority owner last year when Mark Cuban sold the majority of the team. I mean, he's there every day, so he sees. I mean, I just feel like he wouldn't just come out and lie or whatever. So I think to me, it was probably a disconnect between him and Luka from the jump. And probably it just started to spill over. Talking about his conditioning and things like that. Defense wins championships. They're kind of alluding to that. To me, I just think you just have a conversation. Were there conversations already? And he still did what he wanted to do. Like, you'd be crazy to not have a conversation with him and tell him that. So I don't know, like, did they? And he still didn't. It's just confusing. It's confusing. We'll get more information as time goes on. I don't really agree with the quote though, because he's on his way to becoming one of the greats, like the four players he mentioned. So I don't understand that. Lakers, Mavs, Nuggets. I do not care. OKC in 4. You got it. Yo, unmute, brother.
My fault. Josh, we appreciate you in here, man. I was talking to Storm up right there. But, I'm okay with OKC in 4, but I think that's not going to happen. But
OKC in 4, brother? Nah, I know you joking around. You got the Lakers in that series, bro. Be honest. 7-game series.
Lakers and OKC?
Lakers, OKC. Be honest, Josh. Who you got in that series, objectively? I know they got the number 1 defense. But yeah, LeBron and Luka, that's crazy. That's crazy.
It is. Moving on to, we're staying with the Mavericks here. We'll go ahead and go to this, of course, the second part of that trade. Of course, we talked about Anthony Davis. He played 1 game with them the other day. Looked good, had a couple plays on some lobs, pick and rolls. But, of course, before the game could end, Anthony Davis is now out indefinitely. If you've seen the move or the action of when he actually got hurt, there's no contact in it. I couldn't really tell. I first thought it was a growing problem. The way he turned was sliding there, but I'm not for sure what the diagnosis was on it. He does say they're too experienced for a sweep.
No.
So what is up? Of course, let's see here. You know what? It's still too small for me. I'm getting old. CJ, can you read that up there?
Dallas Mavericks star Anthony Davis is expected to miss multiple weeks with the left abductor strain. Sources tell ESPN his absence could stretch to a month. And
To a month.
so first off, prayers off to AD. Hopefully he gets 100%. So we can see the Mavericks at his full capacity.
Yes.
With Lively, with PJ Washington, Kyrie. They have a really nice team. They have a really good roster. Jason Kidd gets the most out of those guys. He's just one of the best coaches in the world, man. I mean, he's been in the conference finals a couple times. Been to the finals now. Just the transition from top 5 point guard to top 5 head coach. You don't see that often. So it's a tough break. He had like 24 points in the first quarter. He was going crazy. Rebounds, blocks. He was motivated. Yeah, probably he was going off adrenaline. Said he probably came back a little bit too early. And he just wanted to come back. He just wanted to come back and play for the team to show them that he wants to be there.
Yeah.
You're saying he was screaming, "I'm here," when he went on like his own like 7-point run by himself. The lob to Kyrie. I mean, that's going to be every day because what are you going to do? What are you going to do in that screen action? You're going to give Kyrie a one-on-one with the big because everybody switches nowadays. So they're just going to switch and put Kyrie on the island with a center. It's tough. So right now, it's very difficult, but the blessing in disguise is that they've already played games with guys being out. When Luka was out since Christmas, Kyrie was out a couple weeks after that, and they were still able to, they lost some games, but they were still able to just stay afloat. So Kyrie came back and some other guys came back, and then when Kyrie came back and PJ gets hurt, it's just haven't been able to get healthy all together at the right time. Axum just returned a few weeks ago as well. Like this just happens. It happens in the league. Injury, exactly. Injuries suck. But they had a really close game against the Kings and went into overtime yesterday. I watched that whole game. That was a very entertaining game. DeRozan had 42. Crazy. Hit the game winner. Clay hit a big three to get the 1-point lead, and then DeRozan split the double team, put a floater up. It was different. But you just think about it, how they played. Dinwiddie made good shots, big shots. If AD is there, they blow the Kings out by like 30 because they have no answer for him. They have no answer for him at all. So they're just going to have to be able to find a way. They got to be able to just stay in the plan. If they could just stay in the plan until AD gets back, because you don't necessarily have to write up plays for AD. He could screen action, give him the ball at the top of the key at the high post. Let him work on the mismatch. Now he'll be out the 4. He could throw lobs to centers now. His assists will go up. He's a help defender. If he wanted to play power forward, it's just that he's an all NBA player. I feel like he has that right to tell the team, hey, I want to play the 4. I feel like I have an advantage here. It's not like he's one of these scrubs. I mean, he has a championship. Yeah. So going to the Mavs, it was the perfect situation. Just now, it's just a matter of not rushing this injury, getting back 100%, and hopefully the Mavs have a solid enough record. I don't even know if 500 is enough, because they're competing with a couple teams that are beneath them and that are in the plan with them. So it's gonna be. This is like the pre-playoffs right now that we're about to go into after the All-Star break. So I don't know. We'll see. They have good players, but is that enough? We'll find out.
Josh says he thinks the best bet for them right now is to make a run for the play-in matchup against OKC. PJ turns into Zion shooting 40% from the three against them. I mean, right now the Mavs are like in a great situation here. I think adding AD to this lineup is going to be a wonderful blueprint for what they do moving forward. Of course, the injury right now, obviously, it's going to be way after the All-Star break, the whole 9 yards of that. But once it comes back, didn't Gabbert get hurt today too, or yesterday?
Yeah, Gafford also got hurt. I don't know the extent of the injury. It's just they've really been plagued with injuries right now. It's unfortunate. So
But I know
was saying like this team was going to be ready before the Lakers. It's like you got to factor in health as well. That matters. And right now, with the Lakers already being the 4th seed, it makes it look bad present day. Because this is kind of what occurred when he was with the Lakers. But yeah.
Well, I was just going to say, we're talking about the Mavs trying to stay in the play-in, but you've got the Phoenix Suns who are out of the play-in right now. Of course, we know who they are. The Spurs are out of the play-in, and they just traded for – we may get into that a little bit later too. So I think the Spurs will be a play-in team with adding Fox, but at the same time, you've got the Warriors, Kings, and Timberwolves in the play-in right now. So somebody's not going to make the cut, and that's – one of these really good teams that's going to be in that. So it's going to get crazy here shortly.
Absolutely. It definitely is. Yeah, they have to find a way. That's the goal. Is find a way to try to get to a couple games above 500 in the AD's absence. Yeah. And then I just look at I think PJ comes back soon, probably after the All-Star break, makes the most sense. And like I said, Lively's. I don't think Lively's going to cut it. They'd have to make the playoffs for him to come back. Messing with the ankle at that size, you need to fully heal. You need to fully heal that injury. So,
all right. So what we got for our next one? Of course,
yes, sir.
Hurts my feelings a little bit, but at the same time, it's over, Sometimes there's these breakups that kind of just linger for a while before the breakup finally happens. So with that being said, the Warriors acquire Jimmy Butler, and he signs the extension, of course, right away, a 2-year for $121 million. What's your thoughts on this?
So this happened after the show, like the next day after our show last weekend. I think it's a great trade. It's a great trade for Golden State. They needed another player that could take some of the pressure off of Stephen Curry on a possession-by-possession basis. And when you just turn Curry into an ISO player at this age, is going to be very difficult because he can still move off the ball. That's his bread and butter. But if you have everybody zoning up on him and closing in and getting out, it's over time possession. You're gonna get tired. You don't want that to occur in the regular season. If he has to go ISO, you'd rather have him do that more in the playoffs. So to bring in Butler now in the regular season, he takes some of that defensive pressure off of Steph. He could get to the free throw line. He's one of the best all-around players. It's just when he's locked in. When he's locked in and ready to go, and he has a mission, we've seen what he's able to do. And now you look at what he's done in these first few games. Again, as I said, his ability to get to the free throw line, pray for the Heat. His ability to get to the free throw line is big. I think he's been there 10 times in both games each. 10 free throw makes. That's what you need. That's exactly what you need. Steph has been on a tear. He had 34 the last game, 38 yesterday. It was a nice point guard battle between Steph and Dame. They had their battles for years in the Western Conference. Yeah, they look good. Very good. Draymond's healthy. He's back. They finally found a floor spacing center, and Quentin Post, rookie. That's perfect. That's exactly what they needed. It creates more space. Guys could cut. it makes things easier for someone like GP2, who's not the best 3-point shooter, but he can still use his athleticism and cut to the basket. He could be a role man because that center has to worry about if Post can shoot and he's knocking down a couple threes, that opposing center has to worry about that. So that leaves lanes and cuts available if you're not together on a string. So it's perfect. I think they're gonna stay in the play-in. It's a scary duo. I think it's definitely a scary duo because we've seen what Jimmy's able to do with a really good team, with a really good coach, and now he's on a really good team with a really good coach. And Steph wants to try to make another run. We saw what he did in the Olympics, so he's not losing a step at all. 4 straight games with 6 3-point makes. He's definitely locked in, and it's gonna be exciting to watch.
Yeah, I like this trade for the reason. Actually, let me say it this way: I like and don't like this trade for the same reason, actually, because what I'm worried about is where Jimmy Butler is more kind of a slow down player. I mean, he obviously can play fast, but Steph Curry is get the ball, go 90 feet of offense from when he gets it. He could pull from anywhere. Jimmy Butler's more of a half court set, more or less. But at the same time, that's why I like it, because in certain situations, Jimmy Butler can be Jimmy Butler. But in the other ones, it could be like, hey, this is Steph going, and I just got to be in the play with him. So I think it's going to work out well with them. I just want to see how it does before I jump too far into it. Obviously, Butler's going to fit in with this team, but I just wonder how Draymond and Butler will get along as far as their mentality as well. But yeah, I think Butler's found a new home, unfortunately. I want to go back to Kev, one of his comments. He said every team that Jimmy leaves, they get worse, and every team that he joins gets better. I do think this may be one time that Miami stays okay. We got Wiggins. We already was playing without Jimmy Butler for so long, and we are good. So adding Wiggins, I think we still stay okay. Now, the leadership that Jimmy Butler brought, where is that going to come from, really? In crunch time, who's going to step in that huddle and say, hey, this is what we're doing, So I think
Bam Adebayo.
Yeah, I think it should be Bam, but can he take over as far as that vocal leader all the way up to Kevin says we're fried. But can he step up to that Jimmy Butler as far as a leader? But I don't think we're fried, Kevo. Like, come on now. We've been playing without Jimmy for about a month. So, I mean, I get it, but we do lose our leadership with that. But at the same time, he's been a cancerous person in the locker room too right now. So I believe in Eric.
Yeah, you definitely have faith in Spoelstra. If you didn't have a good head coach and it wasn't a elite organization that's had history of having success, then yeah, I would definitely be like where Kevin is at right now, right? Mm-hmm. But that's not the case. They just have to establish who's going to be the guy. It's going to be because they need a forward or a 2-guard that says they're the guy, or Khalil Ware has to continue to develop and become that guy over time. If they're able to do that, then Hero could still be the guard. But I still feel like that 3 spot is nice for Wiggins. That's a good spot for him. He's still young, 29, about to be 30, I believe. So he still has a lot of basketball left, definitely, for sure. He's one of the best athletes in the league. Going into that system, I think he'll play well. It may take a while, mm-hmm. But they're in the East, so it's not like you need. The East has 6 teams with 22 wins or less, and the West has 2. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, like, they just need chemistry and just continue to develop.
Miami is one game.
All right.
Miami's one game under 500, and that's the 7th seed in the East. So, I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Like, this is the East. This is the East you're talking about.
It's still the
least. Remember when we said the LeBron was going to the finals because the East was trash, and now we look at the East like it's just, to me, it's still just one team.
I mean, the Cavaliers are up there too this year, don't you think? Cavs beat them once. I think Boston's beat Cavs twice.
I think it's a better series this time, but I would still take the Celtics. It would be a better series. But for Golden State, yeah, I mean, if you get playoff Jimmy with playoff Steph. I mean, again, is it at the same level as LeBron and Luka? No, but I mean, it's pretty close. It's in that tier to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's in that tier in terms of what they've been able to do. Because it's the same thing. Because Steph has got the 4 chips. Finals MVP, led the team to a championship. Luka led the team to a finals and lost. Jimmy led teams to the finals and lost. So it's going to be fun to watch, bro. I'm glad that the Warriors, they were aggressive. Mike Dunleavy, former teammate of Jimmy Butler, low-key underrated factor. That's why this is important, because it's important to treat people the same, to treat people with respect, regardless of where you go, where you come from. You never know what might happen down the road. And that relationship, whatever the relationship they had when they was in Chicago together, that makes it such a seamless transition to go there. I know this guy, he's the president of basketball operations. He was my teammate, helped me when I was young in the league. That's, connections. And now he's going to try to help Levy be the successor to Bob Myers, which was a tough thing to do. It's a tough thing to do with Bob Myers left there in Golden State. So I'm excited. I'm excited they got help for Steph, and I think they're going to be a threat. I believe they're going to be a threat.
I do too. I think this leave some take some pressure off of Steph too. He doesn't have to constantly be that guy, because Clay could do that in prior. Of course, KD did it for a while. Obviously, for a while he was there. Wiggins came in his first year, made All-Star. He was that guy that could help out and relieve some pressure from Steph, and then he just disappeared after that. So Jimmy coming in really helps out Steph quite a bit, I think, as far as saying, "Hey, man, you go do your thing, and I'll just be out here to shoot the 3 if you need me." And then he does. But
it's very similar to when they had KD, right? KD is someone you don't have to necessarily call a play for. Yep. Down in the shot clock, you could give him the basketball in 1 to 2 to 3 dribbles. He could get to his spot and make a shot. He's a great shot creator. That's what Jimmy Butler is. He's a really good shot creator. And that's what propelled Golden State to winning back-to-back championships when Kevin Durant was there. And they feel like bringing in Jimmy Butler has a similar play style. But defensively, I mean, they didn't even add the 4 steals here for Butler in this game.
Right.
He was locked in. It's great.
Listen,
NBA,
this trade.
You don't think the NBA made a couple calls trying to get the ratings up, brother? Hey.
Yeah. These.
I think they made a couple calls, man.
These higher teams that get a lot of views definitely made a lot of noise, so that is good. But speaking of noise, and
starting.
Do what?
They got Bobo started right now.
Oh,
with KD and Booker. It's Tyus Jones, Booker, KD, Bobo, and Nick Richards. Okay, Bobo. Lock in, man.
I mean, honestly.
What do you have to lose? You're on the Suns with KD and Booker, bro.
Yeah. Listen, I can't get
this is good. This is great to see, man.
The phone to pull that up.
It's on TNT. This is great to see. Wow. Yeah. Okay.
But speaking about all this noise that was going on with these high-flying teams, if you want to say highlight reels, I don't know, super teams as far as cities, big cities, I must have missed this trade because I don't know what was given up or anything. But I just actually seen it on ESPN today while Kentucky was playing that the Raptors traded for Brandon Ingram. Of course, signs a 3-year, $120 million extension. So I need the details on this, CJ. I didn't even know this trade happened.
That's right now, bro.
How I missed it, I really don't know.
Yes, it was a trade with the Pelicans, first round pick. was involved in there as well. This happened this happened on Wednesday as well. This happened around Wednesday night last week. Yeah, and then before he even gets really started, signs a 3-year, $120 million extension. So this is where he wants to go. I mean, this is where he wants to be. Quickly, RJ, Ingram, Barnes, Jakob Poeltl. Who's the number one?
To me, I mean, you're bringing in, well,
See, so since it's taken that long, right? Until they figure
Right.
that out. No, this is good. This is good.
right.
When they figure that out, that'll tell us how far they go as a team. Because name-wise, that looks good. Quickly, RJ, Ingram, Scotty Barnes, Jakob. Those are names that have impacted the game already, right? But what do they look like as a team? And first thing they got to figure out is who's the first scoring option.
I mean, I want to say Ingram, but at the same time, like, it's got to be Scotty Barnes' team still, right?
Okay. What does Scotty Barnes do well?
It's kind of the same as Ingram.
Not really. Not really. I would say Ingram's a better shot creator, definitely off the dribble. Scotty's more of he's more of a slasher. He's worked on his off the dribble game. It's gotten better since he's gotten to the league. But I would say Ingram is much better at that. Hence why they probably felt like bringing him in would help. I think for BI is just simple. It's just a matter of staying on the court, right? And he needs to be able to stay on the court. The talent is never the question. We've seen him average 30 in a playoff series. Right? We've seen him make the All-Star team. So we know the talent is there, but it needs to be the consistency. And then you need to be able to impact winning. When you sign this type of contract, Masai Ujiri is trusting you to help impact winning, right? So this is a nice move. Name-wise, it looks like a really good team. I think Ingram and you could do some screen action with Ingram and Scotty Barnes. That's a great screen action. Quickly can space the floor. Quickly's already played off the ball already in New York, so he could play off the ball. It's not something where he needs the basketball in his hands to make an impact. He would be seeing probably, he would be seeing the third best defender on an opposing team. He has to stay healthy as well. He's been hurt the majority of his time as a Toronto Raptor. He needs to show they signed him for an extension. He needs to show that he could be a quality, true starting point guard in this league over the course of multiple years. That's what they're trusting him to do. They saw Kyle Lowry do it for like 8 years. So they know what that looks like. They've seen Fred VanVleet do it for 6-7 years. So they understand what a quality point guard looks like in the NBA. So Quickly he's talented. He just has to stay healthy, stay on the court. And now you don't necessarily have to score 25. You need to show that you can be a playmaker. You need to set those guys up. Set up RJ, Ingram, and Barnes. That's your job. And Jakob Poeltl. That's what you need to do. They need to be able to move the ball. They have to have a free-flowing offense. They need to be fast. They should be fast up and down the court. All those guys are young. There should be no excuses. Transition defense should be elite. You got 6'7", 6'8", 6'9", from your shooting guard to your power forward spot. And then Jakob Poeltl 7 feet tall. And Quickly 6'9" wingspan at 6'3". Defensively, they should be good too. So it's going to take some time. I'm not expecting them to do anything this year, but get some games together, get some games under your belt for the second half of this season, and then you transition that going into next season, and they could be a totally different looking team. It's not out of the realm for them to be successful. I just told you, we just talked about what the Eastern Conference looked like. So again, if all those things occur, which is very tough and difficult to do, and that's easier said than done, or if a few of those things occur, I feel like they're going to be successful. But defensively, they need to be great defensively. There should be no excuses as to why they're not good defensively. No excuses. They don't have anybody under 30 in their starting lineup. I mean, over 30 in their starting lineup.
I knew what you meant there, but
Yeah.
you're talking about for us next year. I'm not going to say this is the same team, but where you're talking about their length, their size, their wingspans, and everything, as far as their defense moving forward, it's really the same process that the Cavaliers kind of bought into. Get these guys who are defensive minded and play that defense and bring in a superstar that could take over. I mean, it took 2 years for Mitchell to really be this MVP candidate. But at the same time, like if they buy into the system and they get, this together, as long as you can play defense, you have a shot in the playoffs in the East for sure. I mean, if you get in the play-in, play the defense, lock up one game, and then you're already into a series in the playoffs. So, I mean, as far as the East, really with this lineup moving forward, as far as next year, of course, this is showing that they're trying to do something moving next year. They're right now at 13th at only 17 wins. Excuse me. I think, truthfully, I want to say they end higher than the Bulls this year, who is actually in the play-ins. But I do think 76ers move ahead into that play-in. And I think the Raptors will probably fall at the 11th spot this year. With that being said, that's showing that you have progressed this season, and I think it's going to be a nice-looking season for them next year, honestly. Defensive-minded, Ingram can come in and say, hey, I'm a veteran. This is what we need to work on. I mean, he doesn't have anything as far as rings or anything, but he does have veteran leadership here with this. And Scotty Barnes still growing quickly, of course, is still a young guy, like you said already, with the 30, no one over 30. Like, this is a team that can be built for the future. And if you get one guy, two guys possibly in free agency this offseason to be a good piece, this is a nice-looking team that has potential moving forward.
Exactly. And whoever that number one is, they have that. It's just two-way ability. You have to.
I wonder what draft pick they have this year.
And when you look at their lineup, right, and you look at their size, what team does it look similar to?
I mean, who are you thinking? Because I don't want to sound silly, but I'm thinking Boston a little bit, but not
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. They built the way their height and the versatility from pretty much from the point guard spot to the five. That is definitely reminiscent of the Celtics. But again, the difference is Tatum and Brown been teammates for what, 8 years? It's been almost 8 years now. Yeah. So almost been a decade.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not even 30 yet.
That's crazy. What's crazy too is how many people was ready to break that duo up.
So that's Toronto. That's what they're trying to get to that spot, and they have talent now to make it interesting, but you need the chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
That chemistry. They have a good coach. I like their head coach, but this is a big test for him as well.
Mm-hmm.
Make a move
Looking at tankathon.com right now, it's projected Toronto with the number 5 pick overall. And of course, you've got the lottery and everything, how it goes there. But so they do have a high draft pick this year.
Who they got at number 1?
I'm sorry. Oh, they got Washington.
Yeah, see.
Yeah.
They probably, I don't know, they might plant the flag in DC. It's good marketing right there. Plant the flag.
Oh, I see what you said there. I get it.
Right there. It's perfect.
Well, let me ask you this, because obviously everyone is already saying Cooper Flag is the number 1 going on further here. But do you think he could be a franchise player or a building piece for you, for a team?
Yes, I believe so. I believe he can. The way he's able to space the floor, he's getting better at spacing the floor. He's like 6'10". get to his spots in 2 to 3 dribbles. Doesn't, like I say, doesn't pound the basketball, which is really good. Defensive minded, runs the floor, leader. I mean, see what he's doing right now. I think he's averaging like 22, 23 at Duke. I think he could go to a franchise and help a franchise. It's going to take more than just him. But if he goes out there and plays well, sets the tone for what the franchise should be going forward, then it's on the front office and the team to complement that.
That sounds good to me. I think it's hard to be a winner your whole life, get drafted to that first number 1 overall pick to go to a bad team, and then have to go through a year or 2 of losing before it turns over. So I think that's hard for any player, to be honest with you. I'm not saying Cooper can't do that. I'm just making a statement for these first round or first overall picks going into a losing team. Like that's mentally challenging going into that. But
Right.
If he goes to a Raptors team, possibly move up, do some type of trade to go for Cooper Flag with matched up with this team, would be fun to watch this young team. I don't think Washington turns it over right away with who they have. I mean, I know they'd have the first 2 overall picks back-to-back years, but one's 19 and Cooper Flag is technically at the beginning of this season in college. He was 17, but that's great for the far future. So who knows how they develop, but it'd be interesting.
Yeah, SAR and Flags. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens with that.
Sorry,
I can't wait.
Flag.
That's gonna be crazy. That's gonna be
All
crazy.
right.
We'll see.
So our next topic here, we got NBA trade deadline review. I'm gonna have to blow my computer up so I can see my old age here. A lot of different colored uniforms for these players.
Yeah.
It's
So we talked about a few moves. We see Kuzma here in the Bucks jersey.
yeah,
Reaction.
looks odd to me, but I don't get it. I'll just be honest. Chris Middleton has been hurt year in, year out. We know that, but he was pivotal for the year that they did win the NBA Finals. He gives you offense, but he also gives you more defense. And Kuzma, in times past, is really just happy making baskets and getting money. So I don't know if he's actually in this to win a ring or if he's just got traded and going to make the most of it. People play, and then you have ball players. So I don't know. Personally, that's a player that I probably wouldn't ever go for on my team. And no disrespect to him. It seems he's happy making the bank, making the bags, and just playing ball and not worrying about being on a winning team. So now he was traded to a team. Let's see how he plays. I want to wait first, I guess. What about you?
I think it's important. I think he was tired of losing. It just gets to a point where you're like 12 and 47. It's just you go into the games, it's like there's no purpose really. I mean, yeah, you love the game of basketball, but the goal is to win. And when you walk into the arena and you're looking into the arena and the crowd has got the opposing team's colors on more so than your hometown. And they're chanting the opposing team chants, and it's loud, and you could hear it over the hometown audio broadcast. Not a good look. So I think it's good for him. He wanted to change it up, and it just didn't make any sense for him to stay there. You're wasting your prime. I mean, they're just on a different trajectory right now. They're on a different timeline. You should be playing towards trying to win championships and helping teams win. We'll see if he's able to do that. Got to play defense. He's a shot creator. He can space the floor. He can play off the ball. You know, he's been on teams with 2 great players already, so he understands where he needs to be in the right spots. The unfortunate part is Giannis is out right now. But I think that in a way that could help him at least gain some confidence with the other guys on the team. I don't think it'd be that big of a adjustment because Giannis draws 2 people every time. So all he has to do is just knock down the open shots for the most part. Or if he's able to, if they do some Kuzma, Giannis screen action, he's throwing lobs to Giannis. We've seen him throw lobs to LeBron and AD. It's not out of the realm, right? So It just depends on what, how his motivation. You can't have the Washington Wizard habits that you developed over there the last few years. You got to have championship mindset habits. You got to go back to, how locked in you were when you were playing for the Lakers. So we'll see if they're able to do that. Got some other moves. Obviously, Wiggins kind of talked about it a little bit with Miami. This was before the Connect Williams trade got rescinded. You see DeAndre Hunter with the Cavs. Another big time move, especially for Cleveland. I mean, they're playing great basketball. Look at their lineup now with Hunter, Mobley, and Allen for the 3 to the 5. Donovan Mitchell and Garland in your backcourt. That's what they needed right there. He was having a career year in Atlanta. He wants to get paid. He wants a big contract. This is perfect for him. He's going to a team where he can make an impact. What's your thoughts on that move, DeAndre Hunter's Cavalier?
I mean, I do think it's a great move. One thing we've talked about probably for 2 years is that 3 spot and someone solidifying that position. Hunter definitely can come in there and be that guy. I mean, Strus has his ups and downs. I mean, Garland is really coming in at that point guard position. Donovan Mitchell pretty much runs the point guard, but listed as point guard. So, no, I really like it. I think it shows that Cavaliers are all in with this season and with this roster because, to my knowledge, I don't think anyone's on any kind of contract that might run out at the end of the year. Donovan Mitchell just signed that, of course, extension. If Hunter signs an extension as well, we're looking at a team that really is going to be competing top 3 year in, year out for probably the next 2 or 3 years, 3 or 4 years. So I like this pickup. It really shows that Cavs are in it this year.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it definitely does. It shows that they wanted to stay aggressive. And that's what you like to see. Like, okay, yes, we have one of the best. We have the second best record in the NBA, but doesn't mean that we still can't get better. And being aggressive, making moves. I think is a great spot. He was playing. Hunter was playing great basketball. Like last 15 games or so with the Hawks. So now he's going in. It's an adjustment for him too, because he's used to getting a certain amount of shots. Now, like you kind of, to me right now for him, he can't be thinking about shots because it's a hierarchy, and you're like 4th, maybe 5th, because even Allen gets some screen action touches, right? So he has to do the dirty work. He has to earn those shots. Kaz is already made, like they, you know what I'm saying, and he has to do the dirty work, offensive rebound, defend, make the right passes. You got to go back to the basics, man. Earn the trust of your teammates, and then from there, knock down open shots, knock down your wide open catch and shoot threes, which he does well. He does that very well. The versatility. I think it's a really good pickup for them, and it just continues to make them more of a threat. And will it help them against Boston? I do believe it will help them against Boston, but ultimately, with home field advantage, anything can happen. So they continue to develop and grow going into the playoffs. You could definitely see them in the finals. They have the type of talent. So great pickup.
How do you feel about the Kings' moves?
So the Kings, as I said, they got a really good win yesterday against Dallas. They had lost a couple other games. I was watching their games because I wanted to see if they were going to play through Sabonis. And it doesn't really look like that. It still looks like it's just as DeRozan is so good. I mean, he just becomes the number 1 option because the mid-range, he's great in the mid-range. He's one of the greatest mid-range scorers of all time. So when he has it going, you give him the basketball. And Levine, he got to get his touches. I don't know. Defensively, it's still not there. It's still not there defensively. And I feel like in the West, you have to have solid defense because you have to be able to get stops because these teams are good. And you have to get 3-4 stops in a row and go on a nice solid run to close out a quarter. that type of stuff matters because say if you have a bad, no, not a bad quarter, but a mediocre quarter, the following quarter, since that second quarter was so good, you made up for it a little bit. You could still have a lead and then pick it up towards the fourth quarter and get the dub. In the West, you got to get stops. You have to be able to get stops. It's imperative. So for Sacramento, yeah, they can score with anybody. But defensively, I just don't believe in it too much. San Antonio, Fox they've played well. Wembanyama, they lost to Charlotte, and they lost to another team. They lost to Brooklyn, I think. Can't lose those games. You can't lose those games. They lost to Charlotte. Miles Bridges hit a three after Fox hit a thought was a game winner, and then LaMelo draw two, kicked it out to Bridges, corner three for the lead. That was an entertaining game. Wembanyama only had like 18 points. You can't have 18 points in that game. How? But he followed a lot. They got the W yesterday. He had 30 and 18, something like that. So, I mean, he's still young. So, I don't try to like go too crazy, but the time is now though. Got to make the playoffs. I know it's the second year in the league, but we want to see you in the playoffs. Yeah. The NBA wants to see him in the playoffs. It doesn't matter. Second year, first year. For the ratings, you got a whole country that would watch the playoffs if he's in there. So that matters. That matters, and they got a young head coach. He's done a really good job, all things considered. Just filling in after Pop stepped away. It's not easy. It's not an easy thing. That's mentally you got to be strong, man, to get the keys like that. Usually the keys aren't handed like that. It's a different type of method that goes about that. And Fox, again, he could get to the free throw line. He could slow the game down. He creates a certain pace that they didn't have. Stephon Castle's played some great basketball since Fox has been there. It looks like their chemistry is really good. I mean, that's perfect. That's perfect case scenario, right? For if you're a San Antonio Spurs fan, but all those three guys playing well. They don't have a lot of time, but they have Fox. The best thing is Fox is able to score and be clutch in the fourth quarter. So when the games are close, you can trust him to make big shots. And that's what helped the Kings make the playoffs a few years ago. Fox was the clutch player of the year, right? That's what he was crowned as and awarded as. Him and Wembanyama on the screen action. I mean, these duos we're seeing right now in the league are looking pretty good. These dynamic duos across the league look great. And Fox and Wembanyama is going to be one of them. So I'm glad San Antonio, they got aggressive. They got aggressive in Wembanyama's second year. That's what you want to see from your franchise. His second year, that this guy's generational. We saw it already. We're not going to wait. We're not going to waste any time. We're not going to wait till year 3, 4 to start building a team around him. We're going to go get De'Aaron Fox. Right. So that's great that the Spurs, they know the blueprint already. They've done it better than anybody. Yeah. So for them to go and be aggressive this early in Wembanyama's career, get an all NBA guy was great. They're going to be fun to watch. So
yeah, I think even making this move, getting Fox, who obviously wasn't going to be signing back. So I understand why Sacramento made the trade. San Antonio moving in and really, like you said, making a duo for the future. This is obviously now, but also for the future too. And not only that, they're projected possibly to have the 10th overall pick this year as well in the draft. So, I mean, they are right there to add a third person. So who knows? Again, that may be a team that moves up in the draft just to get that guy to match with Wemby too. So if anyone usually makes some kind of magic happen out of a draft, I mean, the Spurs have done it in the past for years. So that's going to be nice to watch and see who they really think will be a good pick to add to this team. So, yeah, I think Fox coming in, also learning some more, obviously, from Chris Paul, who's still there. I think it's just, it's perfect for them, really.
You were big on the Valanciunas pickup.
I am. And, of course, I think I really like what Sacramento did, but I do think the defense, like you said, obviously it's there. I do think this is going to move Malik Monk into a more minutes. Of course, I think he's starting point guard at the moment, but having two guys that you can set up on the wings with Levine and of course DeRozan, who has years of obviously together, so there's chemistry there, and then Barnes, who just fits in with anything. He's just kind of to do this, what the dirty work basically, and when it comes to NBA Finals, he can't make a jump shot, but Valanciunas gives that spot.
No. They got Keegan Murray, bro. Barnes on the Spurs.
You're right. I'm sorry. I'm
good,
combining the two teams there. We were talking about the Spurs, but Valanciunas allows Sabonis to play that 4 and to move out a little bit, and also Valanciunas can face up a guy, a big of center, and still score. So it gives them a plethora of weapons really on the offensive side, but. You do combat that with the defense, what they're going to lack on that. But the Kings have been a fast-paced team where they're just trying to outscore you. Like, that's kind of their identity that they've done for the past 3 years. Of course, Christie's going to possibly change that since the coaching has switched. But, I like that they're at least trying and putting some players in what they had voided, or the voids that they had. And, Valanciunas is a good rebounder and also an offensive threat, too. So, I like it.
Yeah, he's solid. He's solid backup big. I think he's from Lithuania, like Sabonis, so they have a connection there. So that's cool. That's great. That's great. They're teammates now and everything. I'm sure they've been friends for a while. He's a good piece. He's coming off the bench.
Mm-hmm.
If he's crashing the glass and getting offensive rebounds, like I saw him do yesterday against the Mavericks, then he's definitely can help. But again, the Mavericks, they didn't have Gafford, they didn't have certain guys, so it's tough to really say. But he still went out there and did his job, right? If he just does that every game, which shouldn't be difficult to do, you're an NBA player, then it would definitely help their chances, because they have a closer in DeRozan and they have a closer in Levine, Zach Levine, that could definitely come in and make shots. Monk can also make shots. This is a new role for Monk, so this is different. He's more of a point guard. Can he be a playmaking point guard, or does it get too difficult? He wants to go somewhere else, or not difficult, but he wants to go be the guy. Maybe he feels like, listen, I'm at a certain point in my career where I want to be the guy. He has a talent. Like, he has the athleticism.
Offensively, he's unlimited.
Yeah. So I think for him, it's just about setting those guys up, and then when you're in there with the second unit, then you could go off and be more of the scoring role. I think Doug Christie would probably do that. It just makes the most sense. Max Christie in Dallas, I like that. I like them acquiring him. He's been playing well since he's been in Mavericks. He's 3 games so far, hit some big shots. I think he's going to develop into a starter for them. I think he'll end up being a starter for them down the road. So if AD gets healthy, and then Maxey, he got 2 starters. Again, not equal to Luka. Not equal to Luka, but it's like I said, it was the best thing you could get. It was the best thing you could get. Some of these other guys, Middleton and Marcus Smart. I think Marcus Smart, we'll see what happens. I don't know. I think he'll get picked up by a contender at least by the offseason next year for sure. He won't be.
Well, if you really think about it, if Washington gets flagged, Sarr still moves on. You got Marcus Smart and Chris Middleton. If they're all healthy, that's not a bad 4. It's better than what in the East we're talking about.
Nah, right?
I'm just trying to be positive with him here. Marcus Smart's a great player. Let's not be wrong. He's good. He's not elite or anything, but he's a solid point guard. Chris Middleton, two good defensive players.
It's not that. It's not that. I don't think they want to play for the Wizards.
Who does?
Yeah,
but if they are there to stay, that's a nice little 4 to start a future with.
I don't know. I think to me, if I'm Wizards, I'm flipping both. I'm flipping both players to get more assets. I just think that's the direction they're going in right now. And then I think they got a couple guys on the team that I think deserve shots. and Smart and Middleton, they're gonna demand shots because they're not on a good team.
Right.
So you look at Coulibaly, Keyshawn George, Jordan Poole, like so it's just like they still got to figure some things out over there. So, but I think again, they could both players could end up on contenders coming off the bench, making impact plays. For sure, definitely. So their futures is they're the way they go may sway some things. Ben Simmons got picked up by the Los Angeles Clippers. My thoughts on that is, if Ty Lue can't unlock Ben Simmons, then it's curtains. It's curtains. If Ty Lue can't do it, then I don't know, because he was able to help Westbrook. He was able to help a couple other guys. Norman Powell having a career year. Ty Lue's head coach. I mean, so if he can't unlock Ben Simmons, then Ben Simmons is done.
Well, let's go ahead and move over.
He made like 80-something million and averaged like 7, 6, and 6.
Yeah. Pitiful.
Yeah.
So our next topic is something that Ben Simmons probably won't be on unless Ty Lue can fix it. Let's go ahead and move on over to the NBA All-Star weekend, at least this year. Obviously, Ben Simmons won't be on that. We've got the reserves. We've got some spots already being replaced. Of course, we've got our starters now, I think.
We've got our starters. Let's start with the jerseys.
I'm not mad at them, but I still don't. They're better. And, you put this, I think, on Twitter that, this is the best jerseys that they've had in years. But it's still not 2000s great. Right. I like the blue, the dark blue. I think that's my favorite look. But at the same time, you've got 3 jerseys now, so obviously they're trying something different. We get it. Try new things to see how it goes. They're okay, but I'm not a fan.
Yeah, they're better. It's better. That's probably the best way to describe it.
They got the number 1 overall pick, but they're still going to be losers next year.
Exactly right. And the 3-team thing really throws me off, but I'm really interested to see how they do this. I don't understand it, and I don't know. You can call me an old head. I don't know, bro, but I'm used to East versus West. It's literally what the league is built on. But these, would I cop? I haven't bought an All-Star jersey since 2020. Those are probably the best looking ones in a while. I got a Westbrook jersey. Would I cop one of these jerseys? Yeah, I cop the blue one, probably a blue one. Brunson, or I'll probably just get Brunson. Maybe Jokic. Brunson and Jokic. Definitely want to get a Jokic jersey in the collection, and a Brunson All-Star jersey in the collection. Would you cop a jersey? Would you buy one of these?
Probably not. Maybe not. A Wemby.
I didn't even think about that.
Because that'll be his first, won't it?
First, yes, yep.
So that would be a good collection to have, his first All-Star jersey. But
I might get Brunson, and I want to get Jokic too, though.
Have they actually got what team is which color yet?
Yes, sir. We're about to go into that right now. Okay. Perfect question.
Good, because I don't know, but I hope Wemby is actually the light blue, because San Antonio has flirted with that color on some of their jerseys, and that would be great.
And they have a nice description here of the reasoning for the jersey colors on the side here. We'll put the link in underneath the post here on the live stream. You guys take a look at that and read that. All right, let's look at the teams. Get Michael's reaction to this. Okay. So Team Chuck, we got Giannis, who I believe is replaced by Trae Young because Giannis got hurt with the calf strain, prayers up. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jokic, Donovan Mitchell, Alperen Şengün, Pascal Siakam, Karl Anthony Towns, and Victor Wembanyama. And then for Team Kenny, we have Jalen Brunson, Cade Cunningham, Anthony Edwards, Darius Garland, Tyler Hero, Jaren Jackson Jr., Evan Mobley, and Jalen Williams. And then for Team Shaq, Jaylen Brown, Steph Curry, Anthony Davis, who was replaced by Kyrie.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant. Yeah, exactly. Kevin Durant, James Harden, LeBron James, Damian Lillard, and Jason Tatum. Thoughts? So Shaq has that teal blue.
Yeah.
Kenny has the navy.
First off, I don't know, when did they do the picks that they have here?
I think 2 weeks ago?
I just
last
think
week? Yeah, last week.
To me, and I hate to keep, I guess, beating a dead horse here, but like the All-Star game or weekend struggles, we know it does. It's not really a lot of fun for us to watch anymore because it's not competitive. It's basically a scrimmage or a highlight reel. But here we already are talking about the starters or the rosters, and there's already substitutes. There's been replacements here. Like, why not make the draft, if it's going to be this way, why not do the draft live, like at the event? That way there's no changes. You know who you actually have. So, like, Giannis went number 1, and it's been replaced with Trae Young. Like, obviously, if you're trying to do a lineup, you're going to possibly do that different now. But I just think it'd be fun if they actually incorporated that actually at the event. Like, okay, you guys warmed up. Okay, here we go. Because you're not putting in plays. We know that. You're just doing like the basic. You're going to run flex and everything else is going. So why not just do a live draft right there and just let them go ahead and have their jerseys out and hand it to them? Like, that way we know that the legit team is there. And that would be more entertaining to actually watch a draft happen for the game than to already have a graphic here that says these guys are the team, but there's already 3 replaced. That's my first thought, I guess.
That's a good idea. Yeah, that's a good idea, bro. They should do that. They might implement that next year.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
NBA, go ahead.
Because it's like a pickup. It's like playing a pickup game. So you just pick your team, and then they got the jerseys out, and then whatever team, you just put the jerseys on and you hoop.
Yeah,
just like old school patterns.
I mean, obviously they'd want their last names on them, but I mean, oh well, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like those things are already be made, and
just have all 3 of them. Oh, like each jersey or each player has all 3 jerseys.
Yeah,
why not?
Or you could do the draft like earlier in the day,
in the
All-Star game, as opposed to just like right before the game, and then.
Or let's be honest, they could do the draft that morning and not do it live, so they already know. Hey, let's make these jerseys real quick. Now that we're at the event. It's the live draft, and we're confused. I mean, we don't know anything, and that's what we think's live, Why not?
Yeah, if you're gonna do the draft thing that way and the pickup style, perfect. But for me, I'm more traditional, man. I'm sure you feel the same way. Of course, we talked about this before.
East and West, that's the way it should be.
Exactly, brother. But what's your thoughts on these teams, though?
I'm going with Shaq's team. I love Shaq. Shaq's one of my favorite NBA players, and I feel like his team's the best.
Okay.
But I think if I was going in order, I think it's Shaq, Chuck, and Kenny as far as what I would go. I'm sorry for the disrespect for Brunson. I know that's your number 1 team.
No, listen, bro. I'm objectively speaking, Kenny didn't draft any big front court players. Jaren Jackson Jr., Evan Mobley. That's great. But Shaq, you got LeBron,
Kevin Durant,
KD. It's just different. It's different.
He did get
KD,
Anthony Davis, but
obviously right. Harden, Tatum, and Brown. He got Tatum and Brown.
Yeah, teammates.
Kenny got a good team too. Cade and Ant-Man, Brunson. It's just it's exciting. Definitely will see a couple lives between Ant-Man and Cade. That's gonna be exciting to watch. Darius Garland gonna cross somebody up, knock down long range threes. Hero probably knock down some long range threes, go to the basket, do some shot creation. But if I was to rank them, I would go. Wembanyama and Jokic.
And Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah, that's my 3 to 5 right there. That's my small forward, the center right there. As with SGA and Donovan Mitchell. I got Donovan Mitchell. I got SGA, Donovan Mitchell, Wemby, Cat, and Jokic. That's my starting 5. I'm Chuck. I mean, that's
Trae
money,
too
right?
now.
That's money right there, huh?
They got Trae Young too now, though, right? For Giannis.
Yeah, for Giannis, yeah. That's what I'm saying. If they would have had Giannis, it would be even crazier. You go SGA. I mean, I'm going SGA, and I'm just going straight versatile big lineup. I'm going SGA, Wemby. Yeah. And you got Şengün coming off the bench. You know what I mean? Like, it's
But the thing is, though, it's the NBA. It's going to be nothing but threes. Like, I get what you're saying, and we're thinking like serious game. Like, you got the bigs that are versatile, but they're going to cross half court and shoot threes in this game.
Nah, Jokic is going to dot everybody up. I'm telling you, bro.
he plays every game.
Jokic at the 1. Him and SGA, that'll be interesting to watch. That screen action. But yeah, that's the starting 5 for Chuck. I mean, that's tough to stop. How do you stop that? And then look at starting 5 for Kenny. I'd go
Brunson, Ant, Jaren Jackson
Brunson,
Jr.
I go Brunson, Cade, Ant, Mobley, Jaren Jackson Jr. Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's good.
Yeah, it's good.
I don't know if it's better than the 5 I created for Charles Barkley, but
just pick straws and whoever's the 5, just go.
It's going great. And then for Shaq, you got LeBron, you got Steph, LeBron, Kevin Durant. Guys.
And Brown and Tatum, since they're teammates, go ahead and let them go.
Yeah.
I mean,
because he didn't draft a big outside of AD, and AD's out. So yeah. KD at the 5. Just running gun.
That's great.
That's a good lineup too.
Yep.
That's a good lineup too. Yeah, that'll be my lineup. Now, who got the best? I think Charles got the best lineup. Him, Charles, and Shaq. Because you got Steph, LeBron, and KD. Again, you pretty much got the Olympic team.
Whoa. I got Jaylen Brown.
You got the Olympic team without Jaylen Brown, pretty much. That's his 1 through 4. That's Shaq's 1 through 4.
It's crazy.
So I think it'll go down between Chuck and Shaq, and then who would win between those two?
I'm going Shaq.
I'm going Shaq. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's LeBron, Steph, and KD.
With Tatum.
What you want me to say, bro?
Yeah. With Harden, Tatum, Curry, Dame pulling threes constantly. Like, no.
It's gonna be fun to watch. Honestly, I'm excited now. I'm reading the lineups and creating the starting 5. Got me interested.
It depends on how they play, but yes, it could be very interesting.
Yeah,
Do we know who's in the dunk contest and 3-point contest yet?
Yes, we do.
Please tell me Mac's in the dunk contest again.
Mac McClung?
Yes.
Slam dunk contest. AT&T, not Sprite. Interesting. So we have Matas Bozilis from the Chicago Bulls, Andre Jackson Jr. from the Milwaukee Bucks, Stephon Castle from the San Antonio Spurs, and Mac McClung, G League, Orlando Magic.
G League in the NBA All-Star weekend.
Two-time champ, got to defend it. Who we got? 3-peat? First time since Nate? Or three to get 3?
I don't know. I like Castle.
Yeah, he's had some pretty good dunks as of late.
That's going to be who I'm going with. I'm going to go with Castle. Even though Mac is from an hour and a half from where I live, but he's from from Virginia, so it doesn't go. But I mean, I hope he three-peats, obviously, but no, I don't think he does this time.
Okay. I'm gonna
Who you picking?
I'm gonna go wild card. I'm gonna go Matas Buzelis.
Okay. I mean, it's not
he got some ups.
Not too wild card, honestly, but
I don't know. I don't think people expected him to go off. I think he's gonna have a good outing.
okay.
He was just in the G League too. It's crazy. And he was actually in that he was in the Rising Stars game last year from the G League Ignite. And now he's back again. So his rise has been fun to watch. 3-point contest. You know me, man. You know me, man. We got Jalen Brunson, Cade Cunningham, Darius Garland, Tyler Hero, Buddy Hield, Cameron Johnson, Damian Lillard, and Norman Powell.
Who you got, CJ? Let's just go ahead and knock that one.
Yeah, I'm going with Brunson, guys. No brainer.
I'm gonna go Buddy Hield.
Buddy Hield going with the Warrior in the hometown. Okay. Yeah, this is go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, I was just gonna say, I mean, Dame is obviously one that should be picked as well, but I'm gonna go Hield.
Okay. If I wasn't a Knicks fan, I would my other pick or my wild card pick would probably be.
Come on, let's hear that Kentucky boy. He's a street shooter.
Street shooter, Hero, yeah. Hero's in here again. Okay.
I think I got this card. No, actually, I traded
wild card. I'm interested to see what Cade does. This is for his All-Star appearance. See Cade go off, but yeah, guy. I mean, I'm going with Brunson. Hopefully, Brunson could bring it home. That's a great picture to have up there. You know, in my man cave, Brunson holding the 3-point trophy.
There you go.
It's just different patterns. All right, we got the skills competition. Team Cavs, Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley. Team Rooks, Zachary Rissashir and Alex Sarr. Team Spurs, Chris Paul and Victor Wembanyama. And Team Warriors, Draymond Green and Moses Moody. Who we got?
I'm gonna go with the Cavs.
I like the lineup. I like the lineup share too.
I do too, but I'm gonna go with the Cavs. You got to stick with my team that I'm cheering for this year. Not a fan, just cheering for them.
I'm gonna go with the Spurs. Chris Paul's done this skills challenge plenty of times. I believe he has one already. He has an award. And I think he's going to guide and help Victor Wembanyama get that. Victor just has to make that 3. You make that 3 at the top of the key, the layups are going to be easy. He gets there in like 2 steps. Just got to be able to knock down that 3 at the top of the key. And that's why I go with the Spurs, because it's making that shot. Mobley can knock down that shot. Draymond, I mean, he might. It's his home court, so he might make that. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. This is a nice lineup, but I'm going with Team Spurs. All right. Star Weekend.
So that got the weekend wrapped up for us?
Yes, it does.
Oh. So, CJ, it's 11 o'clock. We still got 50 people in here with us. I need to ask you, what is going on with KD and Kendrick Perkins yet again?
Yeah, so Kendrick Perkins had some quotes and had some things to say last week during the trade deadline, and he was talking about the Thunder and who was the leader of the Thunder during the days when he was there, and they went to the finals, went up against Miami. We all know the story. And he said, "Quote: It doesn't mean you're the best player. It doesn't mean your best player is your leader. When I was with the Thunder, it wasn't KD, it wasn't Russ, it wasn't James. I was the one leading." And then KD came out, responded, says the craziest thing he's seen this week. This may be a reach. And then Kendrick Perkins responded to KD's response. And we're going to play that. Profanity is used in this clip, by the way. Just trying to get that out, throw that out there.
I saw separation. I come from a contending team with the Celtics where everybody was united. I get there, and they had 3 separate groups, okay? This group did not fuck with KD, and KD did not fuck with this group. It had so much tension to the point that we went on road trips, KD bought his boy because nobody on the team would. I'm like, we can't win like this. I'm going to start a group text. KD, you a Redskins fan? Russ a Cowboys fan? I'm a Cowboys fan. We gonna talk shit about the football game in this group message. We actually went to the game together in Dallas with the Redskins on the private jet where the Redskins played the Cowboys in the suite. We're going to fuck with one another. If you have chemistry off the floor, if you have chemistry anywhere, right, it carries over to the floor because guess what? Allie, Richard, if we on the same team, and I know you on a personal level, I'm going to go that extra mile on the floor for you. I called Troy Weaver, who was the general manager to Sam Presti at the time, and I said, Weaver, who was the leader on that team? He said, you and Nick, and everybody know it. Don't try to fuck up my credibility with no fucking lies. You know who came in that motherfucker and changed the culture. When I...
That's something crazy. So what's your thoughts on that, brother?
I mean, that's one of them things that we can never like combat to even know if it's true or not. It's just crazy. It's petty, really. But I mean, I do see what he says in that clip there. That I mean, it does make sense of what leadership that he was doing, if that's true. I mean, he's seen a team that wasn't had no chemistry whatsoever and tried to do the social part of it, and that is a part of leadership. So I mean, I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm not saying he's right because I don't know really how it went. But it's just beef that don't need to be doing. Like, honestly, KD, you're not in the play-in tournament right now. Like, don't be on social media. Like, you might want to be in the play-in before we're commenting too much stuff on social media. But I get it.
That's not changing. I mean, he's gonna be on Twitter. I mean, I don't see a problem. I mean, if he does his job, I don't see a problem with it. That goes for anybody. Listen, yeah, you're going out there doing what you're supposed to do.
But I do think this beef is also going to end up being a 30 for 30 of one of the most talented teams with a young core that didn't win anything.
And the first person they interviewing, Kendrick Perkins.
Yeah.
Listen, I believe Kendrick Perkins. I mean, watching that team back in the day and really following the team and being a fan of that trio makes a lot of sense. And you look at the way KD and Russ, when KD left and went to Golden State, how that was handled. I mean, KD didn't even go to talk to Russ personally. I think it was a text. It wasn't even a phone call. So like that told me everything right there. Like once we found that out, I was like, okay, so they really weren't cool like that. And then Kendrick had some other stories about. He had a similar story like this when talking about the situation a few years ago. But yeah, I mean, he was definitely, they were a young team. They weren't ready yet. And then as soon as he got there, he definitely helped them bring some type of structure so they could play together. I don't see why he would go into this. He went into detail like that. Why would you lie? You know what I mean? I mean, he's already on TV and all that. So,
Yep.
And again, KD, Russ, and Harden, they were young. They were like 23 years old. So they definitely needed some veteran leadership in there, and that's the reason why they brought him in. Was he the first option? No, but it helped them get to where they wanted to get to, and going to the finals that year. It's sad, they listen, Kendrick's always going to talk. He always got something to say, and KD always got something to say. So
Yep.
This won't be the last. This won't be the last battle between these two. But in regards to this specific situation, yeah, I believe Kendrick Perkins when he says he was the leader of the team makes a lot of sense, and it's also really sad. What I take away from this is really sad. KD and Russ were never able to gel, and you really had no idea. You couldn't. I mean, in ways you could tell on the court. In ways, sometimes Russ would definitely look off KD. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. All the people that's in here watching, used to watch these games, they were definitely, and it was vice versa. It was, and they still had great chemistry. They went they were up 3-1 against the 73-9 Warriors team. And Kendrick Perkins is telling us they didn't even rock with each other like that. Like, that's wild to me.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. So it just goes to show how special they were. We look at that meme with Russ kind of with the side eye looking at the MVP when KD won the MVP. And then what does Russ do when KD leaves? Wins the MVP. That's the thing to me that was just when I look back about the whole situation. Yes, I think Harden played a factor in the whole thing. Harden was probably cool with both of them because he ultimately post OKC he ended up going to Brooklyn, and Russ went there to Houston, and they played together last year with the Clippers. Mm-hmm. So, Harden was cool with both of them clearly, just based on that, right? Mm-hmm. And yeah, you're right. That 30 for 30 is going to be generational. That 30 for 30 will be generational. The amount of stories that are going, we'll probably see it maybe like 10, 15 years from now, when everybody's done, right? And yeah,
it's going to be full, honestly. Like, it might be like a mini series. The team that they had, the talent, then they broke up the Harden leave, then the beef between KD and Westbrook.
As far as success all of them had after they all left each other. Crazy. Crazy. And it's definitely like a 10-part series. Yeah.
I was thinking 8, but yeah, it really is going to be something like that. That's crazy.
It's going to be crazy. Yeah, that's as I was saying, that's my biggest takeaway, man. Because they were fun to watch. They were so fun to watch, and there were times where yes, you could tell, but I when I was younger, I just looked at it as it was confident, and it is confidence, obviously, but the way Perkins like they didn't even rock. Like, why? That's my thing is the why. What was it? What's the origin of that? Because that's so confusing to me. That's very confusing to me how they butted heads like that. And even when you and listen, I don't think it might not have been that bad, but it may have maybe it took them some time. It would have took them some time. Like, it's no definitive statement in saying they would have never figured it out because they were still very young back then. Right. So they definitely could have developed a relationship or whatever. But yeah, it's that docuseries will be special.
Crazy. So much went on. But yeah, I guess it's just two alphas that couldn't get along. That's basically all you can say. KD wanted to be the man, and Russ wanted to be the man, and nobody wanted to be B, I guess. They both wanted A. But that just kind of makes you go, or at least right now by speaking this, makes me really respect Jaylen Brown and Tatum a lot more, because they were these two young guys, but yet they could actually have the chemistry to stay together and develop and win a ring and still be one of the top contenders to win it again.
Right. 1000% agree.
Well, all right. What we got next? Can we just go ahead and do the power rankings?
Let's do the power rankings, man. So this was posted yesterday.
Okay.
Got OKC 1. Got the Boston Celtics at 2, the Cleveland Cavaliers at 3, Denver Nuggets at 4, and the New York Knicks at the 5 spot. What's your thoughts?
I mean, I will say I do think number one, OKC is rightfully there. Boston, and as far as I mean, really, Boston, Cleveland is 5.5 games ahead of them at this moment in time when we're doing this episode. I get it, the star power and everything. That's why we're doing power rankings. I get it. But because of the record, I'm going to keep Cleveland ahead of Boston for the time being. I do think at the end of the season, Boston would be that number one. But out of respect to Cleveland, what they're doing with the record, number one in the East, I'm going to put them at 2. I'm going to put Knicks at 4. I'm going to have Boston at 3. Sorry, I might have did a little bit there. And I don't know about this Denver up so high. Personally, I mean, I get it that they've done so good in the past. They are 7-3 the last 10, but that's jumping. Wait a second. Let me go back. That's jumping the Thunder. No, I'm sorry. They're number 1. I apologize.
Yeah, Thunder is number 1.
Okay. But I was curious to say. But, I mean, it is jumping the Grizzlies, who are just 1 game ahead of them. So, I guess Denver has been turning it on here lately. Jokic is obviously MVP candidate year in, year out. So, I'm just going to put Denver at the 5 and have New York up at the 4.
Okay. All right. I got the first 2 are fine. First 2 are fine. I would probably go the first 4. Okay, I'll replace the Lakers with the Knicks.
The Lakers?
Yeah, Lakers 6 in a row. They won 6 in a row so far. Denver's won 7 in a row, so that's why I got them higher. You said they were 7-3 in their last 10. They were 0-3 and then won 7 in a row. So, they're locked in. They're locked in right now, bro. Cavs. Reason why I think that I'll put the Celtics over the Cavs because the Celtics beat the Cavs last week pretty handily, and that's why I said again. This was before the Hunter trade, but they just understand how to. They just match up well. They match up well against the Cavs. They match up well against the Knicks too. They blasted the Knicks on Saturday. It was an embarrassing game. That's another reason why I put the Knicks down. They got to win tonight against Indiana, but and they also lost against the Lakers too. So I'd put the Lakers at 5, Denver 4, Cleveland, Boston, OKC.
Excuse me. Oh, sorry. Had a huge yawn there.
It's going 5-2-1. Just in case people
5-1, yes.
People react.
Now, is this power rankings? Is it of the week or as of this day for the whole season?
It's for throughout the week. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Did notice the Rockets have fallen off on the standings. They're all the way to the 5th spot now.
Yeah, they've dropped a little bit. They haven't been able to close games. They lost that game to the Nets where they gave up 6 points in 6 seconds.
Yes.
They lost to the Knicks in a close game late in the 4th quarter. So their inability to close games have hurt them. Similar is kind of what happened to them last year. But their record is much better now. But it's just the growing pains of having a young team. That's all it is. And Ime Udoka just has to continue to preach those habits, and they'll figure it out. They've done a pretty good job so far, but it's going to take time. This is their first time. This is their first year really having this amount of success. But looking at these other teams here, these teams are made. They've already had years of success already, and that's the difference, right? Yes, you could have a good first half of the season. You may have a couple really good weeks here and there, but Lakers included, Knicks, couple 3-4 more teams other than this, they know how to stay steady and stay consistent. like 42-9. I mean, it's incredible what what SGA has been able to do. It's incredible he's able to do, man. This is a walking 30 piece every night. Muted, brother.
I said it's been a lot of fun for me right now as a father because my son, who's 8 years old, has been really loving playing 2K, and he actually beat me today. And legit, I mean, I tried to let him come back. We did a stream live today, and he did fair and square beat me in the fourth quarter. So he did win by 3. I tried to get him the last second shot, and he pulled it off. So, but it's been fun because where these trades all happen, he's all like, Dad, this team's really good, da-da-da-da. But he's always, every time he talks about OKC, he's like, Dad, how are they number one? All they have is SGA. And then, trying to talk with him, I was like, well, I mean, they have all these players that really play the defense and know their roles and all into it. But, yes, their only superstar is SGA. Chet's coming, but that's –
Chet's back.
He is back, right. But,
yeah,
I mean, we were talking on this. And to hear a young kid talk with the NBA players, hey, this guy's here. It's like, not anymore. You got traded. What? But it just cracks me up because he always says, okay, see, they're number one, but they're not that good. They don't have anybody. He's like, no. They're a different team. Like, they're built into the system and bought into it and full throttle on it. Just wanted to say that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I completely agree. I completely agree what they've been able to do. In
the West.
It looks like SGA, but you got Jalen Williams, Aaron Wiggins has really stepped up. Also had a 40-point game, couple 25-point games here as of late. They have Dort, Caruso. As I said, Holmgren just came back, and they're definitely they're going to be tough to stop. They're going to be tough to stop because they're going to have home court advantage.
Out of 51 games, they've only lost 9, still in single digit. That's crazy.
Yep.
All right, well, I believe that wraps up our show for tonight.
Yes, it does.
Guys, it's been a lot of fun. Guys and girls, of course. When I say guys, I mean everyone. I got to quit saying that for nowadays. Everyone, has been a lot of fun with this episode, talking with CJ, of course. Just everything, all these trades went on. NBA All-Star Weekend coming up, and just the whole 9 yards, what we covered. We do appreciate it. In case you haven't kept up with any of our content we put out on Twitter or YouTube or Facebook, please go like or subscribe or subscribe or follow one of those. You can see the YouTube link right here underneath my name. And we do appreciate the guys that are on CJ's Twitter right now that are killing it right now on the views. We appreciate all that. But CJ, where else can everybody find you at?
Find me pretty much on X, CJames9_. I mean, that's where the show will be at. CJ versus the World coming back soon. Definitely some 2K, a little bit of Madden as well. So stay tuned.
Sounds good. You can find me, MD Lawson 00, on all social media platforms. I do have my Kentucky college sports podcast that I do. It's Cats Chat. We'll be live tomorrow with actually Tom Leach, the voice of the Wildcats, going to come in and do an interview with us. So that's pretty cool to have him on there. But, yeah, we stream that live Wednesdays at 8:30 Eastern Time, p.m., of course. So, guys, go like, subscribe to all of our stuff. We appreciate all the likes that we got in this, and we appreciate all the comments on YouTube from Josh and everyone else as well. But until next time we see you all, keep balling, and y'all have a good one.
Take care, guys.